Leaving a narcissistic person is extremely difficult and often scary and dangerous. Narcissists have a fragile sense of self and ego, and you leaving them can cause extreme emotions in them that can cause them to act in ways you never expected. Following are 10 costly mistakes victims make when leaving a narcissist or abuser. Informing the narcissist of your plans to leave. Many victims think that they can frighten the narcissist into changing their behaviors by telling the narcissist they will leave them, or hurt the narcissist by telling them that they have decided to end the relationship. You threatening to leave will cause extreme negative emotions in the narcissist that they will struggle to deal with. They will often respond by becoming more manipulative, controlling, or even aggressive in an attempt to keep you in the relationship. They may destroy important documents you need, confiscate or destroy your phone, confiscate your house or car keys, and may even sabotage your car, career, studies, or drain your bank accounts so that you cannot leave. They may also assault you in an attempt to regain control over you. Some narcissists may take immediate legal action to make it as difficult for you to divorce them and or have custody or visitation rights over your children, even going so far as to file false claims of abuse. Some will take the children and run, while sadly, others cannot deal with the shame of being dumped and may end your life. Trying to leave when the narcissist is home. One of the most dangerous times for a victim is when they are leaving the narcissist and soon afterward. Although it may happen that you may need to escape during a violent incident, if at all possible, do not leave when the narcissist is home or awake. The narcissist will try to stop you by any means from leaving and may become violent and go into a rage, which can put your safety at risk. If you have to leave with a narcissist there, try to slip out without them seeing or call the police to assist you in leaving. Do not start to pack bags, just get out. Maybe by claiming you're going to the store for groceries. You do not want to give a narcissist the indication that you will not be coming back. If they have access to firearms, then be very careful, as even a narcissist who has never been violent can snap when they think the relationship is over. As mentioned before, some narcissists will rather end your life than face the shame of being dumped and abandoned. Not having an escape and safety plan. Not having an escape plan makes it harder to know where to go after you got out of a house, as well as what to take with you. Often there are steps that needs to be taken before escaping, which will make it easier for you to escape and restart your life, such as setting up a secret bank account, getting a second phone, getting cash and other needed items ready in a safe place. A safety plan is a set of strategies and resources that can help victims to protect themselves from harm after leaving the narcissist or abuser. It is how you are going to protect yourself after you have escaped. Not having a safety plan puts victims at risk, for it may make it easier for an abuser to find a victim or make it harder for victims to safely communicate with family without prearranged safety meeting places. A safety plan also includes legal steps, such as getting protection orders, arranging custody of children, arranging the safety of pets if they cannot be taken with when escaping. It can also include things like who can safely look after the children when you need to appear in court, as well as having a system in place to immediately inform schools and your work to be on the lookout for the narcissist. Underestimating how the narcissist will react. Underestimating how a narcissist will react often leads victims to have a false sense of security, which may prevent them from taking necessary precautions to protect themselves. Narcissists are often very skilled at manipulation and can become very unpredictable and even violent when they feel they are losing control over their partner. Victims often believe that the narcissist will simply let them move on with their life, but in reality, many narcissists will stalk, harass, threaten, emotionally or even physically abuse if given the opportunity, and even harm the victim's children or pets. By underestimating the narcissist's potential reactions, victims may not take steps to protect themselves and may delay taking steps to ensure their safety, as well as not taking fast legal action to gain custody of the children. Victims may also not realize the lengths the narcissist may go to in order to make life hell for the victim. They may also not retain an experienced lawyer, which in the long run will cost them dearly. The narcissist will often come at the victim from all sides because their fragile ego compels them to punish the victim for the narcissistic injury the narcissist suffered, as well as their fear of abandonment compelling them to try to regain control over the victim by any means. underestimating the narcissist's ability to manipulate and control. Every time a victim communicates with a narcissist or be in their presence, such as in a court setting, is an opportunity for the narcissist to abuse or manipulate the victim, even if only by lying or giving hateful looks at the victim. They often in the beginning convince victims that they will play fair and get victims to not get a lawyer or let their lawyer go, which allows the narcissist to make huge legal gains very fast, but may be very costly and time-consuming for the victim to reverse, if at all possible. They may also convince the victim to drop all charges and take them back and give them another chance. Narcissists often gaslight victims into believing that the abuse was not as bad and that the victim is overreacting by leaving. This may make the victim feel guilty or ashamed for leaving or for pressing charges. Underestimating the narcissist's ability to manipulate often causes victims to see actions the narcissist take as genuine instead of the manipulation they are, such as a narcissist may join a support group and claim they have changed, and as soon as the victim takes them back, the narcissist stops going to the support group and are their old self again. It is essential that victims recognize these manipulation patterns and accept that basically all the promises narcissists make, especially to change and expressions of guilt or remorse, are just manipulation tactics to regain control of the victim. Even if the narcissist has some desire to change, it rarely goes anywhere meaningful or takes several years or decades because it is so difficult for them to change who they are. Failing to gather important documents and resources. Failing to gather important documents before leaving a narcissistic relationship is often due to not having an escape plan and preparing an escape bag. Without important documents and resources, such as passports, financial information, emergency cash, and a second phone, it can make it harder to start a new life. This can create a lot of difficulties for the victim as they may struggle to replace these documents or obtain them from the narcissist later. Narcissists are also inclined to destroy any important documents victims leave behind out of revenge, as well as to make it more difficult for the victim to support themselves, so that the victim may be forced to return to the narcissist. Not documenting the abuse or reporting it. Documentation and proof of abuse can be critical in providing evidence of abuse and supporting legal action, such as obtaining a restraining order or filing a criminal complaint. This can include keeping a journal of incidents, taking photos of injuries or damage to property, and saving threatening messages or voicemails. Reporting the abuse to the police can also help victims to ensure their safety and hold the abuser accountable for their actions. Without proof or documentation, it may be hard to get people to believe a victim, and without reporting the abuse to the police, it is difficult to show a history of abuse. Documentation and proof of abuse, as well as reporting the abuse, can provide closure to victims, as it can help them to validate their experiences and hold the abuser accountable for their actions. Documenting the abuse can also remind the victim of why they left when things get tough and they are tempted to go back, or when they have to interact with a narcissist who starts to gaslight them and claim that the abuse never happened or wasn't that bad. Proof of abuse can also make it a lot easier to gain sole custody of your children, as well as support you and your children's claims of abuse. Not seeking professional help and support. Narcissistic abuse can be very damaging and leave victims with long-lasting emotional, psychological, and even physical trauma. Seeking professional help and support can help victims to heal from the trauma and build a new life free of abuse. Professionals can also help the victim draw up an escape plan, help them escape, draw up a safety plan, and help them set up their new life, as well as help them with a legal fallout, as the narcissist is bound to make divorce and custody a nightmare, or even file false claims of abuse or other false criminal charges against the victim. Professionals, or even support groups, can also validate to the victim that what they experience is abuse and help them cut through the confusion of a narcissist's actions, as well as recognize and articulate the abuse they experienced. Victims of narcissistic abuse can be vulnerable to future abuse until they have healed to some degree. Many victims fall for another abuser who acts opposite to what the victim has experienced, which is often the case where a victim who experienced a violent and overt abuser falls for a covert narcissist. Seeking professional help can help victims to recognize warning signs of abuse and develop strategies for preventing future abuse if they want to enter into a relationship with another person in the future. Breaking no contact. Victims who break no contact, such as responding to the narcissist messages or calls, may inadvertently give a narcissist an opening to abuse, manipulate, or control the victim again, which will re-traumatize the victim. This is often done just before a court or custody hearing to throw the victim off balance. Victims may also accidentally let something slip that give their location away, or may become emotional, which can cause them to accidentally let slip any legal steps they are preparing to take, which can cause a narcissist to take action that can totally derail the victim's plans. Whenever a narcissist contacts a victim after a victim left, it is always to the narcissist's benefit. They may want to hurt or punish the victim, avoid accountability by stopping the victim from taking action, or are seeking information to know what the victim is up to, which will allow the narcissist to prepare a counter-offense. Try to get a mediator who will act as a buffer for you so that the narcissist does not have direct communication with you. If you need to communicate directly, which is often the case when children are involved, always have all communication go through an approved app so that there can be a record of everything the narcissist says, which can then later be used in court. If they threaten you, or try to claim they never agreed to anything, or try to claim you agreed to something you did not. Believing the narcissist will change and going back. It's common for victims of narcissistic abuse to believe the abuser when they claim they've changed and then return to the relationship. Claiming to have changed, as well as claiming that the abuse was not as bad and partially the victim's fault, are common tactics used by narcissists to regain control over their victims. However, it is important to recognize that true change in a narcissist is rare due to the deeply ingrained nature of their personality disorder, as well as that it takes years of therapy. Returning to the relationship puts the victim in even more danger, as a narcissist often feels more entitled to control and abuse them, as they feel that the victim will never truly leave them no matter what they do. The abuse, manipulation, and control will escalate, as a narcissist will be afraid that the victim will try to leave them again and will try to prevent this from happening. If a victim does try to leave again, it can be more dangerous for them, as the narcissist may fear going through the negative emotions they experienced when the victim left them the first time and will try to prevent this. If the victim does manage to leave a narcissist again, the narcissist is more likely to ignore protection orders and take more violent actions, as they believe they can make the victim return again by just being persistent in their actions or increasing their efforts. Thus, stalking and harassment often starts or become worse each time the victim leaves the narcissist, as each time a victim returns to the narcissist, it reinforces to the narcissist that their tactics are working and that they can do as they please without consequences. Although there are many reasons why a victim may return to the narcissist, they need to understand that doing so makes it harder for them to get people to believe their claims of being abused, and makes it harder to get support and protection orders, and can cause problems with custody to the point that they may even lose custody of their children. See the video suggested to you now to learn the 6 costly mistakes victims make when divorcing a narcissist.